Hey guys, so I'm going to do a little bit more commentary type stuff with further updates on the different versions. As you can see in the bottom left corner, we're on build version 4.3.4 alpha. We are still in the early alpha stages. As you can see, I've been working on a little bit of cosmetic details. Obviously, not, the prettiest, not perfect. In fact, a lot of this is temporary just to get kind of a general idea of the overall idea of how the environment's going to look. Right now, I'm getting ready to build the first demo version that will include some story-based elements. Obviously, that is not going to be a final idea of the demo, just because this demo's purpose is to actually present it to some publishers, kind of get their ideas and thoughts on it, see if we can get a little bit of financial backing, as well as being able to potentially start something like a Kickstarter campaign, or, get some ideas. Ooh, that's not a good bottom. But get some ideas and thoughts from everyone as far as how it looks, what the overall idea and concept is, especially in regards to the story. So as you can see, one of the things that we have is we have physics-based items enabled. Not everything is physics-based, like you can't come and pick up the bed or the dresser or the table at all. But you can see, stuff like the chair and that towel and the lamp and the water bottle and stuff like that. Some things are physics enabled. Now, that being said, I don't necessarily know that that's something that we're going to keep in the game itself, because I don't know that it's going to serve a purpose other than for the fun of throwing around some ragdoll items and letting you guys just kind of do what you want with it. Uncertain. I'd love to get some people's opinions as far as the ragdoll physics enabled item concept. Right now, I don't even think this one's enabled. Nope, this one is enabled. And I mean, like, seriously, you could just have fun doing stuff. I can't right now. I gotta fix the collider system. But you could have fun doing something like just throwing the toilet paper in the toilet or in the sink, little things like that. I want to be able to not just have it so heavily focused on the story that that's all you can do, but at the same time, I want it to be focused enough on the story that you're not losing the general concept and idea of the game overall, but still leave you with some fun elements. And like I said, obviously right now, a lot of this detailed work. I mean, look, you can see that this is not three-dimensional, it's two-dimensional because it's just a decal on the wall. Same with all these items on the floor here. Right now, we're in obviously the early building stages. We're just making everything conceptual. While I know what the story is going to be, I don't necessarily have the final parts all put together in detail. Like this part here. This wall here, where it's this little gap that's not, perfect center. Does it need to be perfect? No. No, it doesn't. Do I want it perfect? Yes. Yes, I do. You know how many times I have fixed this and it keeps going back to this? It drives me nuts. Just a little bit nuts. So, in the long run, obviously there's a lot of things that still need to be done, still need to be figured out. There's several items throughout here that are able to be picked up and tossed around. One of the things I just recently did, which you can see in the update patch information, is for these tables here. And initially, you couldn't get the box in there at all. So I updated the collider system. Worked pretty well, except for you could get this to go through the front legs because the collider was missing from the front legs. So I just went in and I fixed that. You guys can see that the map is far from finished. In fact, none of this is final, even the layout design. None of it's final. It all is just early, like I said, early conceptual. There's going to be a lot of changes, a lot of work being done, but I want to be able to put together a story demo for everything. So that being said, what is the story about? Well, to give you just a very basic premise of what the story is about without giving away too many details that are going to be shown in the demo itself, you're playing an individual who has gotten locked away and trapped inside an old bunker. Your goal for the game inside this bunker is to get out, is to figure out how to get out, how to escape. Overall, though, that's not going to be as easy as you think, because the person that you're playing also suffers from severe mental health issues along the way. How that's going to be perceived and shown off in the game itself, well, that's to be determined. Obviously, you can easily just walk right out of the bunker right now, because like I said, none of this is finished. We're putting it together, the concept idea, for the overall story idea in general. We're still in the very early development stages, the very early creative stages of everything, but we're far enough ahead that we can start putting together that demo, and that's going to be the next big step. Like here, even this, there's something wrong with the collider here that's not letting us into this room like it's supposed to. So overall, that gives you a very general idea, very general tease as to what it's going to become, what it's going to look like. You know, if you're listening, you can probably hear that there's some very light sounds available, you know, in the game that you can hear. I'm hoping that the audio level recorded properly and that it wasn't so loud that I have to redo this video altogether. But that being said, this is the general idea. Like I said, we're on build version 4.3.4 alpha. The next build that you guys will be seeing is going to be the demo itself. You're going to be seeing the concept demo that, like I said, will be how we present the general story idea for the game, how we will most likely set up our Steam page. Like a lot of games that are in early production, you know, you're going to get that little notice on the videos showing off everything, going, you know, this is early gameplay, cinematics, you know, etc., subject to change, etc., you know, all that stuff that you see in early overall production. So I'm curious to see your guys' thoughts now. I would love to hear your opinion as to whether or not physics-based items should be kept, should be gotten rid of, why, how, what should their purpose be, if any, other than for the fun of throwing crap around. And I look forward to talking to you guys in our next video. Thanks for watching.